This one is so bad that I'm actually taping it. Normally I don't tape them, but this one, this one's needs to be taped. Hey Dipum. AV blood at the doctor's. Yeah. When they're this bad, you just sort of... Yeah, you wonder what on earth happened. Hey Pedro. Hey, fix it. Okay. Yeah, it's a freaking catastrophe, this one. I was supposed to do it much earlier today, but I forgot. I was too busy doing the shop. A phone repair? You got asked to fix an iPad a few weeks ago, said no, could do without the hassle. Was it just a screen fix, like a digitizer fix, or was it something else? I do still fix them with the electronics issues occasionally. Particularly if they're on the charge port, they're just doing little bursts. Then I'm more than willing to take a look at them in that case. Funnily enough, the type of iPad repair I don't like doing is when the charge port is no good, because that means you've got to take the board out and all that other kind of jazz, and that's no fun. Okay, assume this thing's off. Oh, it's not. Picture of a pony. Amazingly, that still works. Yeah, as in, it allowed me to switch it off. Wow, I think I might clean up the back there before I handle that too much more. But yeah, I've finally put the USB-C meters and ring lights up for sale on my website, although I haven't publicly linked the shop page to too many places. I probably should, I suppose. You know, it's kind of one of those things where you just need to dive in and start swimming. Hey, horse. Oh, geez, John, I knew this was going to start turning into trash talk. Having a preheater like this DevPom does, yeah, it's not essential, but it does help, and it saves you having to use the hot air, run the hot air around the perimeter all the time. But it's really more of a convenience thing as opposed to a necessity thing. I will fair warn anyone who gets these kind of things that you want to disassemble this section here and check that the wiring is okay. I'd say about at least 50% probably. The wiring is terrible in there. It's like barely holding on. Probably very close to getting you a nice little shock. To be fair with this, what a lot of people do is just rip the center glass, the broken glass, rip the center out and then trim out the edges. The problem I have with doing that technique is that you do get a bit of a problem where you can end up touching the display And once you touch that display, it's a little difficult to get the marks off it. Hey, Godfrey Allen. I've had a couple of streams this week, but yeah, overall, you're right. It's been a while. Basically, as the various aspects of this household improve in terms of making sure we don't have unintended intruders and things like that, I can spend a little bit more time back at work. Still got more to go, probably $3,000-4,000 worth of improvements yet to do, but we'll get there. Okay. Alright, this should be fairly warm by now. By the way, I'm back to 601 color range on my streaming, down from 709. 709 is supposed to be broader, but I think it seems like 601 just seems to work better for most people, which is a bit annoying because I am losing data. Like it's sort of like an artificial improvement in terms of look. John, I already answered that, and I said no, it's not approved. Although I can't stop you. Pedro has to use one there because he's got to find where people shove things after he scams them. Or when he tells you he'll sell you something and then he changes his mind. Although apparently he's unfamiliar with that term. I should reference him to a Seinfeld episode just to teach him. He needs to learn about Seinfeld. Can't say that on live streams, Pedro. I'm sorry, you just can't. I have to cancel you. Hey, 3X. This... It's very... The adhesive strip across the top here is very broad, so it holds the glass quite strongly. And this is, by the feel of it, it's original, so it's going to be a fight to get this one properly. Do you get a refund? Pfft. You got your recent items at a very good price. Especially when you consider what they are on the website now. And that's only because you've been a well-behaved citizen prior. Hey, creature. Here we go. Mr. Gonna tell me what I do wrong every time has arrived. He's entitled to a refund if he can actually prove that he deserves one, as opposed to just being an entitled person. I'm just taking my time with this, as you can tell. If you wanna do your iPad screens quickly, then you probably need to watch someone who works at a mall kiosk or something like that, who does iPad repairs. Somehow those guys can do it in like 20 minutes. I don't know how you can do it in 20 minutes and not risk things quite considerably. Just don't hot air the screen. Yeah, like the old day. Yes, I did end up. I'm pretty sure I live streamed that one where I ended up. I did replace the screen. I've kept that screen. It's now a test screen with a very tiny amount of yellowing up the top from the heat. I mean, overall, yeah, if that was a mall kiosk job, they would have just said, "Oh no, it was always there, mate." Yeah, that was. It was like that when it came in. But I couldn't do that. I have to be honest about it. I did that. Hey there, Paul Norman. Yeah, we're all chugging along. Zippy doo. This is why I generally don't like using the higher, anything over about 65 on the preheater, because you do start to burn yourself. And I don't like that. It hurts. Hey, Christopher Howard, Ken Skeets. 8 minutes. That's pretty damn crap. I mean, yeah, if it's a simple crack screen, like, you know, just a clean crack, then yeah, I mean, that's probably doable. But these sort of messes, nah. Like, so particularly if I don't want to end up sullying the display. It's not helping here as I don't have daylight. It's hot. But yeah, you're right. You know, if it's a, particularly also if it's one that's been worked on before, and so it doesn't have the original adhesive and screen stuff, that helps a lot. Like, you get the ones where someone else has already done the screen replacement before and it literally falls off and you're like, yeah, that was difficult. Yep, done. They're always nice to get. Oof. Yeah, this glass is attempting to touch the display right now. Can't have that. Yeah, that you're right about that home button situation. Particularly as you go to this sort of phase where you're about to drop the glass down. As you know, I'm not telling you, I'm just telling everyone else. And you got to watch down in this section here, as Ken is talking about, to make sure that, and this one actually is getting close to that, yeah. There was a little piece of glass pushing its luck. So basically the problem is if you cut that cable, or if the piece of glass, and that one, good on you, Ken, you jinxed it, mate. I can see now that there's, it really wants to take out my home button cable. Okay. I think we avoided the catastrophe. Oh yeah, don't don't doubt you have had a few encounters, particularly with the numbers that you were talking about there. And particularly if you're a little bit on the rush. Yeah, it always makes it harder when you've got a bit of a rush job coming up. But this one was close. It was starting to put pressure on where it dog legs off. That's weird, that screw's not coming out properly. I have a horrible feeling that from this smash, this is actually broken the receptacle, the threaded receptacle area. Because it's rotating, but it's not coming out. I do still need to one day set up a nicer, clean air box, which, funnily enough, I should actually be able to use off the filtered air that comes out of this thing. Like, this sucks in dusty air, and then what comes out is clean, filtered air. So I should actually channel that into another box next to me, and that can be my clean room box. Yeah, sort of two birds, one stone kind of stuff. Okay, I'm just cutting the rubbery adhesive there so that I don't apply too much pressure when I'm trying to lift out this display, because if you apply too much pressure it goes crack and you cry. Oh, how you cry. Yeah. This thing down here has been I don't know what it's trying to do other than be a nuisance. We found that tape comes off better with board cleaner than alcohol. Which tape you oh, you're talking about like the... Okay, this is going to be a rigmarole. This is a case of, mechanics will know about this, where you've got to lift the screw so that it binds with the threads so that you can undo the screw out of the broken threads. There we go. Yeah, the number of times you have to do that with engines. Hey, Seekum. Actually, I'll just disconnect that battery. Okay, let's put this display into a comparatively dust-free environment for the short term. And I've got to get my battery isolator. Yeah, there's heaps of glass everywhere. It's going to be a process to clean up. Where the hell's my isolator? I have to make another one. I keep making isolators and I keep losing them. Yep, so we're going to have to make another one. Let's see if I've got the right plastic for it today. This might just work. It's a little bit thick, but it might just work. Come on, how hard is it to cut a piece of plastic out? Okay, got it. Hey, one way. Alright. It's not really the right kind of plastic for the job, but it'll have to suffice. This sort of plastic is a little bit brittle. Anyway, I'll do. Hey, Nuts and Proud. David. Let's see. Board view diagrams of 2013 Mac Pro. MacBook Pro or Mac Pro? I'm gonna guess Mac Pro. Right, the trash cans. Oh god. Hey there, Jim. I feel like Apple really lost their way when it came to the Macs, the Pro Macs and things like that. Now, they didn't do too bad with the iMacs, but yeah, the Pro ones kind of, I don't know what to think. So they tried too hard to be different, unique, and all that. I mean, the Cube was a fantastic one. Expensive as hell, but still fantastic. Shame they didn't sort of follow on that beauty for a while. And I realised that, the thing on that one was to have no fans and things like that, so that was a big ask, but I could have had a fan version later. Okay. All right. Seems oddly dim around here. Then again, I seem to always complain about it being dim. This is sort of more the scariest area for me. I have, on the odd occasion, torn the flexes, usually around this area here, and I have rebuilt one or two. Not something you want to do, but when you make a stuff up and you go, well, I've either got to buy them a whole new iPad or I can try and fix this one. So you try to fix it yourself first. And then you have to get them a new one if you can't do that. I mean, it's not that it won't work, it will, but it's just that the Touch ID is dead. Oh man, that is a really sticky adhesive on this one for some reason. Crikey. Yeah, really sticky. Okay. We'll prep the display. Yeah, Jim, that's actually a big problem here when people say to me, "Oh, can I have a screen protector on that?" And I'm going, "Yeah, sure. Let me just go get you one." And I hand them the screen protector and say, "There, you can have that one for free." And they go, "Oh, can you fit it for me?" I'm like, "Oh, no, no, I can't right now. But yeah, just take that one for free. You'll be right. You'll be right. Just go do it at home and you'll be fine. Just stick it on and all good." Because that's exactly that reason I'm sitting here going, there's no way I can effectively do what do you call it, protector installations without getting some level of trash on them, which takes us back to the point where I was talking about I should use the filtered air out of my fume extractor. Don't you dare. Oh, I can't believe you just did that. That's okay. We got you. Yep, not genuine. I can absolutely 100%. It's 100% guaranteed not genuine. But it is about the best I can get my hands on. I had an iPhone 11 come in today, and I don't know where the person got it from or whatever, but they said to me, "Oh, the Face ID doesn't work. They just bought it. Is there any chance I can have a look at it, try and fix that?" And I'm like, "Ha." Immediately I said, "Look, most likely no." I said, "Most likely they've fitted a replacement flex in there or something like that." Anyway, I opened it up and the poor phone, it's liquid damaged, missing screws, and the flex, it's missing the illuminator and um, the projector thingy, the sensor. So it was actually cut off from the flex. So I was like, "Yep, that's definitely not going to be working." So I just closed it back up. And then the best thing was, the display was of such poor quality that it delaminated from the plastic carrier frame without any real stretch. Like, I was barely, because I preheat the screens, preheat them, go through with a really fine separator, all that sort of stuff, precisely to avoid that kind of thing. And it's still delaminated. It was like one of those Yeah, for an iPhone 11, it was probably like one of those $19 type screens. There's no way in hell I use those. The most of the screens I use for iPhone 11s are around about the $60 mark plus. I usually try to get the refurbs or the high grade. The JK Incel and all that sort of stuff, I try to not use those. Anytime I put those on, the customer usually comes back a few weeks later and there's some sort of touch issues. So yeah, they're completely on my bad list. The only time I'll use those JK Incel and things like that is if I'm doing data recovery, say like an iPhone 13 Pro or whatever, and you're not going to spend $400 on a proper display in a data recovery scenario. Usually, you're just going to throw something on there, get the data off, and put it back into the box for the next data recovery job. Alright, time to clean up the chassis. This is a weird one. Adhesives come off in a strange kind of... It's like it dried out over here. In fact, it feels like that's been separated for quite some time. Has this got a bend in? Oh dear God, why don't I ever check this? Okay, it's got a bend in it. I don't know if it shows up, but there's a bend in there. It's not so bad that the glass won't sit down, but it's a bend. It catches me every damn time. Hey, what's wrong with saying chassis? Ow. Glass. I generally try not to rebend them back, because if the electronics are working at this point, then I don't really want to push my luck. Also found the tip of a finger and... Oh, geez, Ken. What was that? Someone from some... what do you call it? Nefarious gang need to get access to the iPad, so they cut the person's finger off to use that for access. That kind of thing. Yeah, this has definitely been separated for a while, because a lot of... But geez, it gave me a fight just getting it off. That's interesting. Watching too much Mr. In Between. I don't even know what that is, but... Don't get to watch a lot these days. Ah. Just the skin, even still. Get off. Yeah. Alright. So now we move to the next phase of the cleaning, and that is a whole bunch of earbuds, Q-tips, whatever you want to call, and 80-20 alcohol mix. If you try to use 100% IPA or 99.98 or whatever, you're not going to get anywhere in a hurry, because most of this goop in these corners is liquid soluble, water soluble. So you need a little bit of water just to help lift it up. If you use just pure IPA or even ethanol, it's not going to go anywhere. And you just have to throw those away after every pass. You can rotate them around, but then once you've finished doing the rotate, that's it. So into the bin. Gee, there's half the Outback left in here. So just even like 20-30% water in with the IPA, and it helps lift up actual dirt. I don't know where my dispenser for it is. I mean, I've got obviously the squeezy bottle. The dispenser would be nicer, because at the moment I'm having to squeeze out a little bit onto the bench like that, pick it up and run it over. Yeah, it's still picking up heaps. Yeah, I used the blade to pick up the adhesive, but I found I was maybe it's my blades, because I used the X-Acto number 11s, but I found that I was scratching up the frame a little bit too much, or it would snare on too many things. So I just found 80-20 alcohol mix, since I already have it for all my other jobs. Does the trick nicely. I mean, I still got to get the main bulk of the adhesive off with the knife. The upside is that when you do run around the frame with this for a little bit, it will soften up any remaining adhesive, or ball it up, and it usually makes it pretty easy to pick up then on the next step. X-Acto number 4, that's the shovel head one, isn't it? Just like flat. I haven't been able to actually source them, but I'll have another look. I did have a few, and then I snapped them because I was getting a little bit overzealous. But I'll have another look. But then again, it's probably not that one. I'll have to Google and check now. Hey, 10-minute. Yeah, Lewis Arcus, it's been a lot of very strenuous things going on. I haven't had a chance. Let's see, X-Acto. We've got X-Acto number 4. Oh, okay, these are slightly different ones. Let's see, damn it. Let's see, schematics. So yeah, okay, it's a different blade to what I was thinking. Let's see, stenciling blade. Looks like I'll need a smaller holder for that too. I do have one of them around here. Where's my wooden box? Wooden box of horror. Oh no, it's not wooden, it's plastic that looks like wood. These are really crappy, nasty ones, but I think I picked these up. I picked up a couple of these boxes for about $2 a box or something like that. So that's Yeah, I could use those holders. Okay, I can use the standard holders. The ones I used to use before that I found really effective was the one that fits into this handle. It's like a broad blade like that, but it's actually straight. And I've just snapped it too many times, so yeah. Yeah, they were going out on special, $2 a box, and so I picked up a couple of boxes and I gave away a lot of them. I've had this for probably 12 years now. It's really poor quality. I'll tell you right now. It's you really wouldn't want to rely on this for anything serious, but at least it'll give you an idea of what you might want to pick out later, more for a more serious set. But yeah, I don't have any anymore. That's my last box. But like I said, it's just a good reference box. Oops, someone's messaging me. It's the bank. Bank telling me that. I love this. Hi, how much to fix a phone screen? It's like, well, which screen? Hi there, full stop. What model iPhone is this? Question mark. Alright. Looks like we're clean. Yeah, so the bend, it's... Like I said, it's not too... Okay, it's not too bad on that side, but definitely on this side. Fortunately, this is the battery side, so I actually think I can flatten that out. Yeah, I might push this bend out because it's on the battery side. If it's on this side with the logic board, then no, don't bend it. But this side... Gotta be careful though, because you can very easily overbend this, and then you crimp it, and then it's back to crying again. I actually built a tool, a press that used wood blocks and everything to bend these things back. That was back in the days of G-tool and all that sort of stuff. I still have my G-tools. Yeah, this is... Yeah, I don't want to push that too much further. It feels like the metal has suffered a bit, and I'm fully expecting it to crimp. So we're not going to push our luck there today. Alright, this is my... I need to just get sandbags or sand boxes rather than, 3D printed battery holder, but it'll suffice. Okay, let's get this thing back together. People are going, why do you draw on the screen for? So believe me, there are reasons. And once again, I've already forgotten to pre-separate away the adhesive. That's okay. Fortunately, we can still just get it. There we go. Well, I'll be curious to see what blade you're talking about. Like I said, the one I did like a lot was it was probably about 8mm wide or something like that, and it was just a dead set flat rectangular head. And so it was like, a scraper, window scraper, as I said. No angling on it or anything. And it worked great, but I just kept breaking it. I'm going to have to change my gloves because I've got too much fluff and trash on my fingertips here. And that's going to end up on the display or the digitizer or something. So I'm just going to change gloves. Unfortunately, changing gloves does take a little bit of time because I've got to cool my hands back down so they're not so sweaty. And I've got to cool the glove down and fill the glove up with air a little bit, just so that I can slip in without too much drama. Yeah, that didn't quite go as planned, as usual. Doesn't help that these are my normal preferred gloves. I bought about 10 boxes of these. These are so 2,000 gloves, but they're just a little bit tight for me. But I haven't got around to ordering new ones lately because, yeah, other financial pressures. Okay, since the battery is disconnected, I'm not quite as panicky about using metal tweezers. We'll check the blades after I've sorted this out, of course. But yeah, it could be that we are thinking of the same thing because I went through a lot of different blades, and that was the one that I settled on because it felt really easy and natural. It didn't like skew off to one side or the other too easily. It just did its job well. But it is a broad handle blade, so it won't fit into the normal handle like the number 11s. But maybe the one you're thinking of is the same sort of profiler blade, but it fits into into one of these handles. Either way. Okay, battery reconnected-ish. I hate these little foam bits that get sort of floating around causing drama. Not sure what I'm going to do about that corner there because the screw really isn't doing anything. I guess I'll put it in, see if it can bite on the last couple of threads or something. Yeah, okay. It's got bite on the last sort of two, well, really it's more like one turn of the thread. That's enough for me. This tessitape really loves to grab onto gloves. Okay, I'm just going to go get my compressed air. Right. This display has a few spots where I can see the glass has, from when it was smashed, has stepped down and touched it. It's not too bad though. You lousy piece of... Okay, now we've got a problem. The pull tab just tore clean off. Great. Hey, for ashes, from the ashes. Sticky tape generally doesn't seem to work so well. I mean, I'll try it again. Like I've got some Tessa tape, but it just doesn't seem to quite get it. So here we go. Okay, we've got that one just. Now the worst thing is we've now collected more dust here. Fortunately, that bend, it's not so severe that it's going to outdo the bonding of that black adhesive. Alright, let's see if this unit now charges. Comes back to life and all that stuff. Mickey, it's just a little 3 liter compressed air compressor. Okay, well, it's got an Apple logo. It's just they're generic sort of things. Maybe 150 Australian dollars to get them. Very useful. The iPad Touch, I don't know, but all of the... I always buy these screens and they've already got the adhesive installed. Alright. Okay. And the home button works. Fantastic. Alrighty. That was a slight panic job and a half. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about this. Every now and then, because I use the hot glue, what will happen is it pushes out a little bit too far. So I just got to heat up this bottom section a little bit and then press down. It makes the glue sort of separate away. But you got to be careful, you can't go touching that home button again in a hurry. Okay, that should about do it. Yep, there we go. Hey there, Q's. Let's see. Whereabouts in the world are you, Mikey? Yeah, it's just a 3 litre oilless compressor. Airbrush compressor. Yeah, airbrush compressor will do the trick. 3 litre airbrush compressor. eBay should have heaps of them. Or AliExpress. Take your pick. Now, even though this replacement digitizer has its own adhesive, I do like to clamp them down still. Just overnight. Do I know Dave from EEV blog? Yes. Yeah. Dave Jones knows who I am. Alright, we're going to stick this into the shelf and let it cook overnight, so to speak. Yeah. Now I need to put a machine back together so I can send it back. This is a dead machine, the NAND's cooked. Unfortunately, with this series, this is a 1990. These SanDisk SSR NANDs, they seem to be very prone to just dying internally. Whereas the other ones that have got the more metallic, silver metallic finish, they tend to not die so easily. You tend to find more often than not, though, you've got a circuit board failure with them. Thank you, Pedro. Hey, Greg. Do I know him personally? I wouldn't say personally, but we know each other. We know who each other is. Like, yeah, if you said to him, "Who's Paul Daniels?" he goes, "Oh yeah, I know Paul Daniels. Yeah, he writes the software," and I chat to him occasionally now. Yeah, but more as an acquaintance rather than a friend or anything like that. I'm not even going to bother cleaning this, but this stuff here, you see all that gunk build up there and up here, that's what kills 1990s and 2141s. This one's dead, so we're just going to put it back and send it back. Hey, Catherine, now there's a name I haven't seen for a while. Welcome. By the way, if you're after a ring light or a USB-C meter, I do have the store up and running now. I haven't implemented stock control, so hopefully things don't go crazy. I'm not expecting things to go crazy, so because otherwise then I've got to catch up rather than being able to ship out what I already have. Pedro, any chance you can link the store in, if you can remember it? Slovenia. Oh, okay. I mean, I'd imagine there's got to be something around there. I mean, if we can get it in Australia, surely you can get it over there. Because Australia is sort of like the backwater of the world. Hey there, JCT. Catherine, yeah, it's been fun and games, I'll say that much. spending a lot of time and money redoing all the protection fencing around here. Um, Still haven't finished the cat house. Almost there, almost there. It's just, been a very long journey, and I'm quite tired, but at least I can still get out there and do it, so I'm happy for that. Being able to actually go out and do the work is a gift in itself. Thank you, Pedro. So yeah, the my shop, so to speak, is there. Hell, look, I'll be honest. I don't even know what happens if you have a successful purchase. I don't know where it redirects you to. I'll have to test that. But I will get the PayPal transaction. It will have an ID on it, and it will have your address on it, so I will know what and where to ship, so to speak. I need to make a test item. That's like 47 cents or something, and then go test it on my wife's PayPal account or something. Bit of a schlep doing this kind of thing, where you got to rebuild a machine that is dead and is just going to get thrown in the waste. But yeah, it's part of the business, part of the no fix process. And unfortunately, it's getting a bit late for me to do any building of ring lights or USB-C meters. I wasn't intending to anyway. I just wanted to. I thought, well, while I'm doing the iPad, I can usually sit and chat concurrently. Some jobs I can't. I suppose my highest technical concurrent proficiency would be doing an SMC reballing and replacement. But anything more than that, I have to shut off the live stream. I'll still video record everything, of course, but the live stream has to take a hike. Again, in this case, belongs to a business customer, as in they are a shop, and so they send me the jobs, and I either fix them or I don't, and send them back. Now they themselves may hold on to this machine depending on what they discuss with their customer, but I don't have the power to do so. I do, however, let most of my business clients know that I'm more than happy to look at acquiring frames, things like that, particularly for the newer models. Not so much, basically these days I'm at the point where it's the M series machines that I need to collect. Things like 1706 through to 2141s I basically now have a good collection of. But once we start getting into the M1s, the more I can get. I mean, I've got a fair few of the M1 2337, 2338s, and I've definitely 2442s I need to get my hands on a lot more. The logic boards in particular at this point, there's a lot of parts on those logic boards that just aren't available anywhere else. What is sad is that I've got a whole bunch of things like 1286s, even 1466s, 1502s, 1398s that are pretty much going to end up going down to the trash or recycling now. Mostly because even if you can repair the logic boards, there's so many other things aging on those systems in a way that you can fix the logic board, and then 2 weeks later something else goes wrong, and like, maybe the screen starts misbehaving or the keyboard starts misbehaving, things like that. So it ends up being a bit of a dangerous process to take the money for the repairs, unless you're essentially repairing only to recover the data. But with those machines you don't have to, because you just take the drive out, stick it into an external drive enclosure in most cases, and take the data off and throw the machine away. 1466's 2017 model, or up until they stopped making them, they're still pretty good. But 1502s, 1398s, they are great machines, but they are just starting to hurt a little bit too much now. $21.79, 1932s. I don't want to see those things. I mean, I'll fix them for data recovery, but they're definitely somewhat dud in terms of Apple design. I think Apple sort of really lost heart in making reasonable designs until they got back to the M1, and then they sort of did a good job there again. They actually protected the various voltage control circuitries so that things didn't go bang. I don't mind the 1990 and the 2141. I actually do like the machines, except for their tendency to kill the NANDs. But as a machine itself, I quite like them. Two 442s I quite like as well. Just need to get more of them. Don't like machines with too many screws. Well, yeah, okay, things like the 2442s. I mean, the 2141 was bad enough, and I thought, my goodness, it makes these ones seem like a walk in the park. But then Apple comes out with the 2442 and similar, and you're like, well, that's it. Yeah, they really knocked it up with the screw count there. I suppose the thing that I don't like about the MagSafe 3 series is that instead of the design becoming cleaner and simpler, it actually did become quite a mess. And so I'm kind of hoping that Apple will go, yeah, maybe we don't need all those extra ports. Let's just go back to USB-C only. Because the era of things not all being USB-C is pretty much over now. Like, everything's USB-C now. I'm deliberately putting this slightly off screen because I don't want to show the customer sticker too much. Try PS5. I think I'll give that a pass. I've seen Phil and a couple of others dealing with those. I think I'll give a big fat pass on that. The flexes, yeah, they are a nuisance. It's like, why couldn't they just use nice little topside clip-ins? I suppose it all comes down to cheapness a little bit there. Considered a miniware ES15S. I don't even know what that is. Okay. Alright, so at least I can ship that one back out and say, you owe me $75 for my time and return shipping. So basically I'm charging people $50 for bench time, which isn't a huge amount really. It really only covers you for maybe half an hour on the bench, like trying to fix it. So if you haven't got good hopes of fixing it within that half an hour, you really need to just walk away from it from a business perspective. From an intriguing challenge perspective, sure, go at it, spend days, weeks, years, whatever, but from a keeping business rolling, you need to have a pretty good chance of fixing it within half an hour, else move on. Alright. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of machines that I get here that stay here for weeks. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that first and foremost, you need to be trying to get them out and clear them out of your queue as quick as you can. Even if someone else later on is able to fix it, even if you missed something obvious, what matters is that if you can't fix it right now quickly, then let someone else have it. Let someone else try it and let them try and fix it, rather than you sitting there and messing around with everything and probably actually stealing away the chance for someone else in the future to be able to fix it. Just let it go, move on. Yeah, like I said, I'm talking business, I'm not talking technical smarts or the challenge or anything like that. So a bit of a difference between running business versus having fun with it. Alexas say room and weight. Well, yes, they do, but they're also a little more delicate too with the lock tabs. I get plenty of machines coming in where the lock tabs have been snapped off, missing, melted. It's okay if they're melted and it's a lock tab with like less than 10 pins, in which case most of the time you just pull them off and put a replacement on. Did you see the EC stencil fix thing, by the way? If you'll be doing, I haven't yet. I did see you link it, but I haven't had a chance yet. No. I'll see what I can do. Like I said, depends how I go with the ring lights. We may end up selling 10 and then that's it. Nobody buys any more, especially at the price. Funnily enough, it's weird. The pricing for the ring lights, I might just bring this up since you can all have a look at the shop. Nope, not that. Right. Let's see. In my opinion, which PC from Apple? PC, well, I can only really speak on the laptop, but I feel like the 1466 was one of their best ones overall. But of course, it lacked in certain things. The 2015 1502 was also very good, I feel. The machines in between, I feel like perhaps they're not going to really have a long life overall. But then the M1, the A2337, I feel like that is a pretty good machine. I'm not too sure about the other newer ones like 240. I don't know yet, but if I had to choose, I would probably pick, say, 2337 or a 2442. But the 2442 may have issues that we don't know of yet. Yeah. The 1502 was certainly a solid offering, particularly with the Retina screen. Anyway, so this is the USB-C meter. I was talking to Graham of Adam and IT, and compared to other USB-C meters, they've got fancier displays, and it doesn't really give you any advantage over those. But the real win is, in his opinion, having the graphing pick up on this, particularly when you're trying to diagnose things that have fast transients. Like, I mean, just in the last day or two, there's been 3 or 4 devices I've fixed because it detects the fast transient, shows up little spikes, so you're dealing most likely with a shorted capacitor on the main rail or something like that. Just today, actually, I did. So yeah, the graphing thing is the big winner on this, and the software is obviously there. Is it planned to put the USB? No, it's not. They're basically encased in the plastic, and that's it. You can take them out. There is the 4 mount holes. I have got some 3D prints that you can mount it on, but I'll leave it up to the community to come up with their own creations for that. And then of course the ring light. Now there's no power supply supplied with this. Something up here. What do you have to supply? That's to save on postage and just wasting shipping. And of course everybody, some people already have 24 volts available. It's just straight into a DC jack. It just sort of cuts down on the cost. Now if you go to like Amscope, the one I used to have, Amscope, this is what I used to have, and as you can see, go away Amscope. So it does come with a power supply. They've got some sort of obscure 240 volt to let's not use the USB connector inappropriately. Actually, they may have changed. Have they? I'm trying to see whether they've changed that. Oh, they've changed it. It used to have a USB mini connector on there, and I wonder if a few people plugged in their USB devices and destroyed them. Anyway, so they were selling it for a little bit more than what mine sells for, but it does come with a power supply. So I'm kind of doing that trade-off, because you can pick up a power supply for this for around about $15 to $20. Will the USB-C meters produce heat in the case? No, they will not. There's very little heat being produced. I mean, you've got whatever's being bled off on the shunt, but it's less than a watt, so it wouldn't be a problem at all. The heat on the microscope ring light, on the other hand, there's going to be quite a bit there. I'll also have the slicer, the Prusa 3D model or whatever, the STL model for the... I'll put up all of the ones that I've made so that you can adapt it to different kinds of things. Like this one here that I ship with, it's for the 48mm Barlows that are on most of the scopes that you get, but there are other ones I've made that will work with other plastic adapters. Like Amscope has this one here that comes with their kit, and I'm pretty sure I've made one that will fit on that as well. You're never going to use the high setting that much super. Yeah, it's definitely very bright. I sit at around about 80%, so you can touch the aluminium and at 80% and you barely notice it. At 100% it is a little bit of a, that's kind of hot, but it's around about I think it's about 55 Celsius, depends on your ambient. But you very rarely are going to run at 100% brightness on that. I certainly almost never do. Let's see, how fast is it? Okay, I'm guessing you mean this here. It's around about 20 samples per second. I actually haven't measured it directly, but I'm only using 9600 BPS serial connection across this. So around about 20 samples per second, and you do pick up the transients, particularly too because the sampling capacitor, the the RC network feeding into the sensor will have a little bit of a integrating effect, so to speak. So it's not super fast, but I think I can get it up to around about 100 samples per second if I really pack things in, but I'm not really bothering with going quite that insane. But like I said, there is a little bit of a integrating effect, so you will still pick up the sides of the transient even if it's really, really quick. Hey there, Cavisivo. Yes, I saw your comment. I think I replied to your comment just before too. Yeah, Creature, by the way, these meters normally they're around about 2 samples per second. That's a more typical value that you see, maybe 5 on some of them, but they will not pick up things like what this one does. 1 mega samples per second or bust. Alright, well, you can go that way, and you can, I suppose if I crank it up to 115K board, I could probably 115. I need about 10 bits per 100,000 samples per second. That'll work. It'll be fast enough. Anyway, it works well. It does pick up the transients, and it's let me pick out a lot of faults that the normal meters just don't even let you know that there's anything going on there. I might be able to also do some other things with the firmware in the future, where it might be able to, if it does detect something, it can sort of like send a signal, say, there's a high transients going on. Anyway, alright, well listen, I am now 1:45, so I am going to get out of here because I've got other stuff I've got to get done. And we will see how the sales, if any sales occur. So I mean, obviously I've at least got 4 here, and I know I can make around about, if I had to, I can make 10 a day. I don't want to have to do that sort of, but I know I can do 10 a day, so we'll see how we go. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Till then, you'll take care. I'll see you later.